All right, team, so when first addressing the rower, two things that we want to be aware of: the screen itself, as well as the foot plates. Now on the screen, just so we go over these metrics again, on button's gonna be here on the far left side. We've got distance bottom right in meters, bottom left is your time, top left is your stroke rate, and top right is the metric of power. So that's typically gonna be wattage. Occasionally, you'll see 500 meter split time. That's usually done for more so longer distances and pacing. Sometimes, very rarely, you'll see miles per hour up there. But if it has changed, know why, and the coach will probably tell you, hey, we're gonna have this as miles per hour today for X reason. So just making sure you understand there are different metrics in this top right number. Very important there. But typically, we'll stay in wattage. Then we got the foot plates. Now on the foot plates here, we always tell you guys put the strap over the widest part of your foot. So for me, I use 4-hole showing. So when I slide my foot in here, making sure my heel is down in the foot plate, if I tighten this down, notice how the strap is just over my pinky toe right there. So everyone's gonna be a little bit different. Just make sure that you get it roughly at the widest point of your foot. Also, pro tip here, don't tighten down the straps until both feet are in. Once you're strapped in, you're good to go, you can start rowing. So that's how you first address the rower. All right, team, moving on to the rower itself and the form. So now that we've checked out the screen and the metrics, we checked our foot placement and the straps, now we can get on to actually rowing. There is something you've probably heard before called the 3x3 of rowing, which is legs, core, arms, arms, core, legs. So you hear coaches say that all the time. You also have heard us say that it's mostly leg power, about 60% legs, 20% core, 20% arms. So let's break that down piece by piece and kind of get a feel for how it should look. Before we even start rowing, something that will help us with our posture and especially our lower back as we move through, and for some of us, if you've ever experienced your tailbone rubbing up against the seat a lot, this will also solve that issue. Think about whenever you take a seat, you're gonna sit forward on the front of your hamstrings, where your hamstrings actually attach into the glutes, into the hips here, where you're gonna find the front of that seat, dig it forward. Because it's very easy for us to kind of sit back here like this. When we're seated like this and we start to row, we've already got this rounded posture going on. So what we wanna do is set ourselves up for success, scoot it back, drive the front of the seat into the top of the hamstrings, and now we push the chest out of the hips. So now we're in that more neutral position in the spine. So starting at the front, you'll notice my heels, if you can see this here, the foot plate is actually away from the platform by about this much. Whenever I kick onto the platform, instead of driving through my toes, working the calves, more so I'm gonna plant my heels down and I'm gonna drive back powerfully using the leg muscles up here to extend. Now here's a 3x3, legs, core, arms, arms, core, legs. So we break it down piece by piece. Legs first. Once you have driven back through your legs, you think about the core. But notice, before I even add the core in, I've still got this kind of neutral spine, from the top of my head, all the way to the base of my spine. Before you even go into that, the shoulders are over the hips. So we think slight lean back, bracing with the core. There's no need to go crazy way back here. We want just enough to where you feel the core brace. We want to feel the pressure here, not pulling from the lower back. It's almost like after we kick, we're using our body weight to pull that water just a little bit further. Once we're at full extension here, we're gonna bring the handle all the way to the chest. On the way back in, we just reverse the order. After this big pinch of the shoulder blades, you're gonna release first. You release the core second, so you bring those shoulders right back up forward of the hips, where we were before, and now we unload the legs and we return back in. So we think legs, core, arms, arms, core, legs. When we tie this together, trying to get those muscles to work in tandem, we're thinking most of the power from the legs, and just a little bit of assistance from the core and the arms. Now we'll talk later on this week more so about tempo and stroke rate, but for now, focus on the 1 second powerful drive, that 2 second roughly patient recovery forward. It's that contrast. Is let that water slow down before driving back again. So that's the basics of rowing. Always be thinking of your posture, always be thinking of engaging your core and relying on your legs as you power through. One last thing I want to show you guys is a drill that you can do when you first sit down in the rower or you're transitioning the room and you want to get your form down. So that 3x3 rowing where you're going over, there's a little drill here that will kind of help you get your body in sync and ready to go for whatever row that's coming up in the block. So really establish that good form. Slow it down. So this is the first drill we would do. We would focus on the leg drive for about 5, maybe 10 strokes. That big heavy kick through the legs. The next 5 to 10 strokes, we would extend the legs here, unlocking the knees a little, and focus on that core drive. Core drive back, that tightening motion, bracing the core, a slight lean back. Doesn't need to be powerful pulling from the back, but getting that range of motion through the hips. Getting that feel down before you actually perform it. The last one, we're gonna think about the arm drive. So let's set way back here. We got the core braced, making sure we're pulling the chest, or we're pushing the chest away from the hips. And now we're working those arms. Another 5 to 10 strokes here. Once we've done each one for about 5 to 10 strokes, our legs, our core, our arms, we can tie together more like a robot. Slowly, legs first. Be deliberate about each point as you go through this. Legs, core, arms, arms, core, legs. Then when we get in that block, you're ready to go. Your body's primed. You've had some practice, and now you're ready to crush the rower. A little drill that you can do to set yourself up for success. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have an awesome rest of your day. And again, if you have any questions for us, please let us know. Let's keep crushing this challenge, y'all.